All right, we live. Welcome back to the Sorry It's True podcast. It's your boy ARP. Big salute and shout out to the 6 a.m. crew, the whole green team, all the members, the chat, the moderators. I see y'all all coming into the building. We have a lot of news, a lot of controversy, a lot of legal stuff going on, a lot of people getting in trouble with the law. I got a personal story to tell y'all too. Racism still alive. They just be concealing it. I got to shock our friend of the channel's lyrics right there, Kanye West, as much as we don't rock with him too tough over here. But we got a lot going on, people. Y'all see the title? That's only like half of the topics that we're going to go over. And I have a guilty, not guilty trial one for you guys that we haven't done before that I think might be one of the toughest ones that we do for 2025 later on in the stream. Okay, let's get moving. Let's get working. Let's start off with this very, very viral situation. We could have probably covered this yesterday or even the day before, right? But I'm glad that it's making all of its rounds. What is this young man's name? I want his name first. 22-year-old William McNeil Jr. Have you guys seen the video yet? All right, check this out, and then we'll do some reaction and breakdown to this.
Oh, the traffic stop that's gone viral and why the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has now opened an investigation. Video shows the deputies beating and punching William McNeil Jr., who says it happened back in February. Here's a portion of it.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, okay, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor? Huh? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No. Get on the ground.
We don't know what happened before or after that camera began.
We do know before. We just watched it before.
The Sheriff's Office says, in part, we have launched an internal investigation into the video and the circumstances surrounding this incident. We hold our officers to the highest standards and are committed to thoroughly determining exactly what occurred. Civil rights attorneys Ben and Harry Daniels are now representing McNeil. Daniels joins me now. Harry, appreciate your time. Let's go ahead and start with why your client decided to release this video now.
Thanks, Kara, for having us on. Mr. McNeil released his video now because he has the support from his attorney team, myself and Mr. Crump, and his family. This was a very traumatic situation for him. He was very afraid. As you can see, he was calling for a supervisor because he was very confused as to why he was being pulled over for not having headlights on during the day. The Florida law says that if it's rain, smoke, or fog, you should drive around with headlights. Neither of those elements were presented, and he wanted to know why he was being pulled over. And obviously, you saw what happened next. He was his window was shattered. He was punched in the face, pulled out the car, struck again, and he was beaten while he was on the ground. So this was a very horrible video to watch. And, Mr. McNeil suffered tremendously as a result of these officers' rogue conduct.
So, Harry, a couple questions that we haven't been able to answer, and hopefully you can add some clarity here. When did he start? When did he decide that he needed to start rolling video? What happened prior to where we see that recording begin? Can you give us any context?
So when he was initially pulled up, he was initially stopped. He notified the officer that he opened his door and notified the officer that his front windows, passenger and driver's side windows, were broke, and they wouldn't roll down. He rolled down his back passenger window, and he was speaking with the other officer. Just before then, he knew the situation began to escalate because one, they was telling him that they pulled him over for not having his lights on, and he wanted to speak to a supervisor, and they would not comply. So he figured he needed to start recording this incident, just in case something happened. I don't believe the officers on scene knew that he was actually recording. If you continue to watch the video after the incident, after the beating, one of the officers, they actually grabbed their phone and turned it off. So I don't know if they knew that it was actually being recorded, but they were in fact recorded, and it was depicted on camera what happened.
Got it. So a police officer actually came into the car and turned the recording off?
Turn recording off. That's a violation of his First Amendment right in the first place. He had no reason to go in the car, no reason to touch the camera at all. So that is a key factor in the show, that the willingness of the Jacksonville Sheriff Office to cover up. And I echoed over and over against Jacksonville Sheriff Office dealing with their and how they treat their citizens down there. And particularly, Jacksonville is allowed to investigate themselves. There's no outside third-party investigator to come in to investigate them, and they continue to have misconduct, unlawful use of force, because they're allowed to investigate themselves. And the sheriff just recently made a statement in July that he's investigating. Well, the officers had body cameras on. They never mentioned in their report about any use of force, about punching Mr. McNeil at all. They completely omitted that from the report. And once the video became public, then and only then did some type of investigation proceeded.
Well, and clearly we see the window bashed in. We see your client being struck. He was punched in the face. That's very obvious on the video. Curious, why didn't he just get out of the car?
He was afraid. He was afraid.
Okay.
You know, in this environment, policing in America, especially young men of color, are very afraid of police. He was afraid even before, during, and after the incident. He's very afraid. But more importantly, you know, a lot of people question why he just didn't get out of the car. You know, he felt like it was a barrier because he had these individuals whose sworn officers was there to protect him, was harassing him and telling him he's something's happened that he know was not against the law, and he didn't do anything. So he was very afraid, and you can obviously see the result. You know, this officer broke his window and just punched him in his face. Mr. McNeil suffered very significant injury. We have pictures, we have evidence of injury. He had to get, he has permanent injury as related to this incident. He has memory loss, closed head injury. So this is not just a one-off of just being punched and swept under the rug. This is very significant impact, Mr. McNeil, and we have to seek justice and legal redress, and not just a civil action, but pursue criminal matters against these officers.
So are you telling us your client is planning on filing a lawsuit then against the sheriff's office?
Here, let me be clear. We are planning to do everything we can do to secure justice in the matter, from a lawsuit to a civil complaint federally. We are seeking all options to ensure accountability. This has have gone on too long here in the state of Florida, especially Duval County, where the Jacksonville Sheriff Office is completely unhinged. It's time for a change. So whatever it looks like, we're going to pursue it and ensure that we get justice for Mr. McNeil.
Got it. And I see your client was charged with resisting arrest without violence, among some other charges. What do you make of the deputy's claim that your client reached down to grab a large knife, Harry?
They tell you they have no credibility because we watched the video and that did not happen. That's the narrative they gave. That's the lie they gave. We're not going to sugarcoat it for them. They lied. They omitted and they lied. And that alone, as an officer of the law that's sworn to protect and tell the truth, you should be fired for just not even getting to the beating, the unlawful use of force. You should be fired for making a false report. And nothing has happened as of yet to these officers.
Did your client even have a knife in the car?
I don't know if he had a knife in the car at all. And it's not unlawful. It's not against the law to have a knife in the car, have a weapon in the car. But what we do know is that the officer lied about him reaching for any weapon or any knife or anything. And this was a matter where we got to focus on what they did, because he didn't do anything wrong. The only person that was in control that day was Mr. McNeil. These officers were completely out of control. And one thing you don't see on the video, he was actually being held at gunpoint at the time when he was inside the vehicle before they broke his window.
We will follow the investigation for sure.
Yeah, so will we. So will we. Extremely disturbing footage, people. Let me just skate down real quick to the bottom of this. Was there more talks of the reports against this young man? Additionally, the court records show that he was sentenced and served 2 days in jail for resisting arrest without violence and driving with a suspended license. McNeil was arrested and pled guilty to resisting police officer without violence, Waters said. So he actually pled guilty to resisting arrest. That bugs me out a little bit. Okay, let's start here. Let's start on how disgusting this video makes all of us feel before I go to some of the jewels, some of the learning points for all of us, including me, from these situations. First and foremost, we're all disgusted by this footage, right? It's viral. It deserves to be viral. I hope this brings a lot of attention to Jacksonville's police department, the officers involved. I believe that the attorney that we just listened to, I think he was very, very well spoken. And this man, McNeil, was very, very well represented right there. If that was me and I went through this and I watched my lawyer perform like that on a news channel, I'd be happy. I think he hit some major points. And yes, it does deserve an attack on every level. The police officers, their job, should they be employed? Should they be off the force civilly, possibly criminally? Whatever the case may be, justice must be sought after a situation like this. Why we are so disgusted? We see a young man, a young black man in his car pleading, right? And we have audio. We don't see him irate. We don't see him going crazy. We don't see him being a threat to the police. He's even sitting there still with his seatbelt buckle on. All right, he's not a threat. We see his hands at times. He says, "My hands, whatever." You see what I'm saying? So to see them crack the window after he's pleaded, he requested a supervisor. Now, I don't know why you request for a supervisor. The attorney said he's being held at gunpoint. I don't know why you request for a supervisor and you couldn't get one right there at that moment. But you request for a supervisor. The other officer on your side, driver's side, breaks the window. He gets punched in the face while he's sitting in the car still. They then proceed to open the door. He shows his hands multiple times. Camera's still running. They pull him out after they take off his police belt, punch him in the face, drop him, throw him on the ground. God knows what happened after that. And then you say the police officer, and it's not his right to do so, comes in the car and turns the fucking camera off for the rest of the footage. Thank God this man had the footage that he at least has. Watching that shit makes us fucking sick. It looks like over abuse of force. And then we're used to hearing it. Stop resisting. Get down to it. It's like, I'm not resisting. What are you talking about? Give me a second. We'll get there. Let me calm down. The wrongs. The things we still want to take away from this and teach our kids, teach ourselves. Okay, I pulled up while the video was playing. I Googled, in Jacksonville, are you required to get out of your car from police request? The answer on Google says yes. If a police officer orders you to exit your vehicle during a lawful traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida, you are legally obligated to comply. This authority stems from U.S. Supreme Court ruling in cases like Pennsylvania versus Mims, 1977, the key points, officer safety, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We do the ghetto lawyering up here. And then sometimes I ask attorneys, like, was I right? Was I wrong? Sometimes they hit me up. Sometimes I Google. Sometimes I chat GPT, all that type of shit. We do a podcast, people. One thing I got to always claim, I'm not no fucking lawyer. I will never give y'all no full all-out legal advice that I would tell you to go walk into court. I'll give you some opinions. I'll speak my shit. But I'm not a licensed fucking lawyer. And nobody in the chat, as far as, well, I shouldn't say nobody. Some of us are. But most of us are not. Okay? I think that we see these videos a lot of give me your supervisor. No, I'm not getting out. People non-complying. It's my right to stand here. Sometimes these people are right. You see situations where somebody's standing on a public street and they're recording and a police officer approaches them. Hey, you can't record here. Yes, I can record here. The difference is handling that in a situation that's non-confrontational, which is not easy to do because this literally is a confrontation. You're confronting me. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to do. Now, they mentioned that there's footage that before that we didn't have. Let me just take an assumption This isn't blaming Mr. McNeil at all. Fuck these police that just did this shit. We're now breaking down how we can avoid this shit, people. You know what it seems like in this scenario? It feels like there was a lot of frustration built up. Okay? A lot of frustration built up. So they say his headlights weren't on. Okay, did they need to be on? If law states that they only need to be on in foggy scenarios, raining scenarios, or if it's dark or night at time, you don't have to have them on, but he didn't turn them on, right? Okay. He's driving with a suspended license. Okay. I'm pretty sure at that point they knew he was on a suspended license, which is probably why they had that many police around. They wasn't sure what was going on with him. That report showed drug paraphernalia, marijuana, right? When they asked the lawyer, was there a knife in the car? That was his only stumble in the interview. He gave a great answer finally, but he stumbled to death. You saw that? Was there a knife in the car, period? I'm not sure, but what we do know from the footage, he didn't reach for it. Great point. But you're talking about frustration. You're talking about the lights. You're talking about a license. You're talking about marijuana. You're talking about unlocked doors. There's another one. They're reporting, the lawyer said that the windows didn't work. So the police officers are also dealing with that. Put your windows down. I can't put my windows down. Just the rear one. They probably won't believe you. They probably think that you're trying to piss them off or fuck them over or be another self-appointed attorney. I don't have to roll my windows down. So you got license, you got weed, you got alleged knife, you got no lights, you got won't roll the windows down, you got non-complying when asked to get out the car. That's 6. That's 6. Although I believe that these fucking police used excessive force and it was disgusting and it hurts to watch that video and watch this young man get punched in the face and grabbed like that, there's 6 very serious situations that's happening that's creating an entire, I see people in chat saying no knife. I'm saying allegedly a 6, and you said no knife charge, right? Well, it's not illegal. Doesn't mean that just because you don't get a charge for it doesn't mean that it wasn't there, right? But anyway, let's say 5, allegedly 6, right? That's going to build a lot of frustration with the police. A lot of fucking frustration. Doesn't mean that what they did was right. If I'm in the right, if I know I got pulled over for my headlights and my headlights don't need to be on because it's not foggy, it's not raining, and it's not nighttime, right? No, most people don't even touch their headlights. It's all auto, right? But let's say hypothetically you're in a car, you need to turn them on when in certain conditions. If that's why I really got pulled over for that driving infraction, I'm going to have that quick conversation. I might offer up some debate. Why am I being pulled over? Sir, my lights were not on, but there's not conditions for me to have them on. If he continues to say, no, they need to be on or whatever the case may be, let me get my ticket and keep it moving. I'm going to say, no problem. I'll fight that. We fight too many cases with arresting officers that are just there to enforce a law. We try to fight the cases as if they are the judge and jury. That's not time to fight your case. If anything, that's more of a time to shut up and be more quiet. I'm not going to take these officers through 6 potential alleged arenas of frustration between lights, license being suspended, weed, alleged knife, windows not going down, not complying to get out the car, which what we read is actually Jacksonville law to comply with. I'm not taking them through all of that shit. Want to know why? Because worst case scenario, I'm not just going to leave with a couple stitches in my lip. I'm going to leave with a fucking bullet in me. And want to know what? That's also because of how much we don't really fuck with a lot of these people that go above and beyond. We shouldn't trust them enough to protect us in this scenario. We can't. We can't trust them enough to say, I know you're going to be compassionate towards this situation or these headlights or this little bit of weed or me not having my license or me telling you my windows won't go down. I can't trust you to be compassionate. I trust you to be scared of me, my black ass. When you see my tattoos and you see my demeanor and you see my build, I think that you're scared of me. So I'm not talking nothing the way I'm talking right now. I want my ticket. And here's another one, people. If you ask me to get out the car, I'm getting out the car. I've been asked to get out the car before, and I did. Help me beat a case. Shout out to Tate and Shata. Why'd you take them out the car if you really pulled them over for a driving infraction? Why'd you search the car without approval or without a warrant for a driving infraction? That's how we beat the case. We complied. They said, come on around the back, sit on the bumper. We wasn't under arrest. We wasn't handcuffed. They tossed the car. They found whatever they found, and they said, everybody hands behind your back. We complied. Lawyered up and beat the case. I'm not playing with y'all trigger it fucking finger itchy mother. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm gonna comply. We have enough evidence online to see how they treat us and how scared they are of us and how much they abuse their power. Just comply. Don't run. Don't argue. If you feel legally you know enough of the law, can I please have a supervisor? Cool. But it gets to a certain point where you gotta comply, people, especially if this is really just a driving infraction. Now, if you're dirty as shit, if you got a couple keys in the truck, guns, no license, this, that going on, you might want to argue as much as possible. Me, I ride clean as fuck. License, registration, insurance, anything that's in my car is legally there. So I have no reason not to fucking comply. That's how we save ourselves, people. Oh my God, frustrating video to fucking watch. Speaking of racism still alive, they just be concealing it. I had it yesterday. I swear on everything. I had a little moment yesterday. I live in a gated community, and you can enter. There's a two-way street in front of my gated community, right? Cars coming like this. Cars starting to turn in front of me, right, to get towards the gate. Before me, I come in right after, right? You have mobile apps, or you have these clickers to raise the gates to get into your community, right? Some of y'all are familiar with them. Same thing for me. The thing about these automatic gates, right? If it's clicked by one person, the gates open, you drive through, it gives a certain amount of time, and I would assume it has sensors, like if a car is already still going through, so that the gates don't close on it. But you never know. I don't want to be the one to test it, right? And that's going to lead into the story even more. If somebody clicks it and they're going through, right, and then somebody else clicks it, the gate, the programming of it knows that I don't close and then say, all right, somebody else clicked it and then reopen again. It stays open for a certain amount of time, for like the second click. Okay, it's programmed like that. I've watched it do that. I watched it start to close a little bit, couple inches, and somebody else click it and it opens. It knows how to do that, right? And so the guy that comes in before me, right, I come in right behind him. He clicks it. I click it as well. And then before I make it all the way through the gate, right, he stops his car in front of me, right? So I'm just like, oh, something happened. So I pause for a second. All right. I'm in the middle of the gates now. Now, my first thought is like, they got to have sensors to know that there's still a car here. So this shit ain't going to close on me, is it? It better not. And I got nice cars. I don't want this gate hitting my fucking car. Part of me is like, but I don't want to trust it to work. I'm just like, all right, so I'm waiting. Oh, this wait is like 5 seconds, which feels like an eternity, right? 5 seconds. All right. 8 seconds is passing, maybe 10. I honk my horn. Little light one. Right? Nothing crazy. Nothing New York. Not that. No budge. Maybe 12, 13, 14, which feels like a fucking eternity, especially if you feel like you're in the middle of the gate. Boom, boom, boom on the horn now. Boom, boom, boom. Yo! Now I roll down my window. Yo! The fuck? Now I'm like, something's wrong. What's going on with him? Does he know that somebody's behind him? Did he fall asleep at the wheel? Can he not hear the horn? And then he's just got his head down in his cell phone or some shit, right? So I'm just like, he must not see somebody behind him. So I get out my car, and the moment my door opens, he must have been looking in his rear views or his side mirror. The moment my door opens, his window goes down, he pops his head out. And he's calling to the security guards, because it's 24/7 security guards at the gate, right? That's in like the little security booth. He calls to the security guard. He leaves his head out the window. He goes, does he live here? Does he live here? Oh, my God. Ah! Yo. I keep walking up to the car. You're not really supposed to walk up on cars, right? But I was just furious. It's dangerous to walk up on cars like that. But I keep walking up to the car. I'm like, yo, move your fucking car. I live here. And he's still screaming to the security guard, does he live here? Does he live here? He came in behind me. Does he live here? And I'm like, who? I said, that's their fucking job. They're the security. You're the security now today? I fucking live here. And I start screaming at him like, yo, you wrong. You don't know how these gates work. Obviously, I don't know how long you live here. I did click this bitch to be open. I do fucking live here. And I feel you stereotype me. Guy got his fucking son in the passenger seat too. Learning this from his father. I swear on everything. True story yesterday. Got his son watching his father behave like this. I said, move this fucking car before I hit it. By now, the security guard comes out. He's like, oh. And I said, yo, tell this fucking guy to move his car. And he goes, he lives here. And he goes, oh. And he gets in his car and he drives up. Right? I get back in my car. Luckily, the gate didn't close. Hit my fucking car. I get back in my car. I was infuriated. Because I feel like he got in his rear views and he's seen this fucking younger looking. I'm old as shit. But this younger looking compared to some of y'all that live in here. Young black man. I felt stereotyped as shit. So I caught him at the stop sign, which is like, a quarter mile up. And I honked my horn at him to stop. Like, yo, I'm on your hill. Like, stop. So he stops. He waits. I get out the car. I got my phone with me. And he rolls his window down. I woke up to the passenger seat. I was ready to have a calm conversation because I was just like, yo, he's so wrong. I'm about to make him feel so shitty for stereotyping. But when he rolls his window down, he was still frustrated, which pissed me off because he goes, listen, buddy. Look, you just drove in right behind me without clicking it. I don't know who lives here and who doesn't. And I said, yo, his voice was right. I said, yo, calm down. Because I really wanted to just show him and shut him up. I was like, yo, calm down. And he's just like, no, but you clearly just came behind me. I don't know if you live here or not, but you clearly just came behind me. I said, yo, calm down. And he kept on that. And I lost it again. And I was just like, yo, fuck you, bitch ass nigga. I do fucking live here. If you would shut the fuck up, I would show you. You obviously don't even know how the gates work. I was like, this is what you're teaching your son there. And he said something like back up from the car, like you need to calm down. You're the one that needs to calm down. And I was like, yo, if you feel that way towards me, don't be a coward. Get out the fucking car. Get out the car then. And he goes, you know what? You're so irate now because you're the one that tried to sneak your way into the. I'm out of here, buddy. And he pulls off. And I watch what he turned into and shit. And you don't follow a man to his house now. Now you're doing too much. I tried to run down on him once. It didn't go well. He didn't get out the car. He pulled off on me. I'm not following you to your crib now. I need to calm the fuck down and let it go. And for about the next hour, I was waiting for my doorbell to ring. I don't know if I was expecting police because I'm summarizing this shit. It just felt way more long and way more intense and way more screaming and everything. And where I live, that ain't going. That little bit of screaming that I was doing will bring a SWAT team where I live. But like the next hour, I was like waiting for my doorbell to ring. You know what I'm saying? And I was like a little bit calming down in my house still. Like, this motherfucker, I even got the log on my phone to show. It got a log of when you click it. That I clicked the gate at this exact time. I want somebody to ring my bell bad. So I could be like, boom, 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 boom. Where the fuck is my apology, you piece of shit? I wanted it. Nobody came. Nobody rang my bell. So I never got the chance to. And even right now, I think I'm still releasing some of my frustration from it. Because when this is the moral of the story. When you know you're in the right and somebody is fucking with you, it drives us over the edge. Especially if you mix in what you feel is a stereotype or something racially charged. That's what McNeil just went through a little bit. He felt he was in the right, and he kept going. And the police was wrong for what they did, but there's things he could have did different. And same thing for that guy, that piece of shit yesterday, and even some for me. I'm really too old to be trying to tell somebody to get out their car and fight over that type of shit. It's just the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could admit people, as I'm now removed less than 24 hours. It was yesterday. I'm wrong. Even in that second attempt to run down on his car, I'm wrong. I should have just let it go. I should have just let it go, because what if he gets out of his car and I beat shit down his leg and now it's assault, or you just never know, man. You just never know. I'm wrong. I'm supposed to let it go right there. You know, racism's still alive. They just be concealing it, and we know that. So it's either adapt, move out the country, move to a new place, or it just is what it is. Now, 99% of the people that I live around would never do no shit like that. But this piece of shit just thought he had one. You know, he wanted to play. It's like the motherfucker at the drive-thru. You're like, yo, let me get some extra honey mustard to ketchup, and they give you one packet. It's like, who are you, the fucking condiments police? Just like this guy. Who are you, the gate police now? That's the security guard's job. Stupid. Move before I hit your fucking car. Thank you, chat. It's out of my system now. Because I might have went to sleep with a little bit of it still in my blood last night, boiling, because I didn't find full completion. Shout out to McNeil, man. Hopefully the justice falls his way on that. Okay. Let's move on. Woo. Ooh, this is live. This is live, people. This is all genuine. This is all real. All right, cash out. Life. Jesus.
Well, the Atlanta rapper known as Cash Out will spend the rest of his life in prison. On Friday, a jury convicted him of rape, sex trafficking, keeping a place of prostitution, and more. 11 Alliance Grace King shows us what happened at today's sentencing.
On Monday, John Michael Gibson took the mic one final time. Not as the well-known rapper Cash Out, rather as a convicted felon fighting for a chance at freedom.
One day, the truth will come out that these things never happened.
A jury found him guilty on roughly a dozen charges, including RICO, rape, and sex trafficking.
The day these defendants chose to commit these crimes against me, they gave me a life sentence.
Several victims and their families shared stories of the trauma they still endure.
Even though we restored her body, we have been unsuccessful in saving and healing the person because of the trauma that these animals delivered.
The judge said the state proved those victims' stories beyond a reasonable doubt and showed no leniency as she sentenced Cash Out, his mother, and his cousin to decades in prison.
Court heard and viewed evidence demonstrating the very worst of human behavior toward other human beings.
In Fulton County, Grace King, 11 Alive News.
So we reached out to the Fulton County DA's.
Let's check these charges real quick. I didn't know he had this much stuff that he was fighting. Wow, look at this list. Full list of Cash Out's charges and sentence. Count 1, violation of RICO, 20 years to serve in confinement consecutive to count 10. Count 10, R, life in confinement. Count 12, aggravated sodomy, life in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 22, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 1. Count 23, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 22. Count 24, battery, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 25, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 23. Count 26, pimping, 12 months serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 27, pandering, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 28, keeping a place of prostitution, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Geez, still going. Count 29, willful obstruction of law enforcement officer, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 30, simple battery, merged with count 24. Count 45, possession of prohibited items by an inmate. He caught something while he was even in there. 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 25. So most of these he was catching concurrency. Not that it was going to matter because there's all a bunch of 10s and 12s in here and whatnot, right? But that last one is he caught that while inside. And when you see the counts that he's found guilty of, or they convicted him of, you see the first one was RICO, the main top dog, right? But we get all the way down to seeing count like 45. So we don't know if there's more counts. I don't have it in front of me. There's no need for us to bring it up. But there was at least 45 total counts that the jury deliberated on. Shit, Diddy's was like that form that they went and deliberated on. It was like 8 things or some shit, right? 10 things. So he had a lot going on that they was investigating him for, that they actually charged him for, and then eventually he was convicted for. And the RICO, Diddy's one of the first only that we've seen with a solo person RICO. And this is why when we started seeing these reports for Cash Out, we said, wait, okay, your cousin, but your mother is catching these charges with you? They're showing it like a family ring. A family ring, B. You see her face in court? Now, of course, by the time you get to this, somebody like Cash Out is probably already working with his lawyer and expecting that he's going to get hit with some of this stuff. Maybe by then is already having a bunch of nights he's going to sleep telling myself, yeah, by the time I get to my verdict or to the end of this trial, yeah, I'm fuck around, get 10, 15, 20. He had to know that this was coming while he was in. He had to. I don't think that based on the speech that he gave that he was expecting a great outcome. But we have it. So let's check the speech out. Let's see how he addressed the court before everything came down and finalized.
Good morning today, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time that they put in to judge this trial. This time being on this trial, I was able to see how the jurors are put in a tough position to, sit there and judge someone's life, and, it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. I've done things in my life. I'm not perfect. But the things I've been accused of, I know that I haven't done those things. I know it's typical for a person to come up here and, show remorse to, crimes that they have done, but I can only show remorse to the people that I know that was in this trial, which is Kiara Adams, Deanna Sanders, and Jasmine Brown. Not remorse on behalf of like I did anything to them, because if you know me and people who really know me know that I wouldn't force anybody to do anything. I met women, I dated women who were doing escort or whatever, however people want to look at it from a moral standpoint, but who was doing these things as a grown woman. I've only dealt with grown women. Nothing was forced. Nothing was coerced or anything of that nature. If you notice before this trial, no woman can say anything about me before this trial. If you notice before this indictment, no woman can say anything about me before this indictment. I get the situations that people are put in when they're faced with a certain type of crime or a certain type of time, and they're bullied into this situation to put the blame on someone, or to put the blame on Cash Out, or to put the blame on someone who's at the top. That's why I didn't really fault them for their decision. I didn't fault Deanna Sanders for making her decision during a proffer. She just had a child. Mind you, she was just on video call with me while being incarcerated. I don't fault Kiara Adams for doing the things she did with her proffer, because mind you, she was facing a certain amount of time handling her probation in different cases that she's on. I don't fault people for making accusations because I'm a man that typically let women leave on their own behalf. Never held them in prison or held them in slavery or said, you can't leave me or you can't do this. Every woman you seen come on this stand showed you that they left and came back willingly on their own. What I mean by that, they left on their own and they came back willingly on their own. During this trial, I was able to see, how valuable life is and how valuable the people that you hang around or the people that you even date or the people that you even know, how valuable it is to judge their character. Sometimes I let people stay around who I knew was going to affect a situation that I had going on. So I don't, and for the people who came to this trial that I never met a day in my life, never had any contact with them, never had a text message with them, never had an interaction with them, don't even know where most of these stories came from. It's baffling. Never forced a woman to commit a sexual act. I've been traveling all around the world from here to Dubai, and you would never hear a woman say that I forced them to do anything sexual or commit a rape with anybody. I don't hang around people that do things of that nature. I feel like, and somebody asked me this the other day, he was like, every time I see your head high and you are always smiling, because when you have that confidence, it takes me back to the Bible. When you have that confidence and you can be falsely accused of things, Jesus was falsely accused. A lot of the prophets were falsely accused. You don't have that.
Chat. Keep going or cut them off. I'm going to do whichever one y'all choose. Keep going or cut them off. I need the answers, chat. Let him play, let it rock the rest of his speech, or cut him. Let him go. Arca says, off, you tried it. I'll just wait for the third tiebreaker. Killer says cash him out. Okay, I just went with 3. Hold on. Shit. Some of y'all are saying keep it going, cut. Damn, y'all are even. Heard enough. All right, how about this? Here's an even way. I'll play just a little bit more.
Emotion like you've done something. So if you see me with my head high or if you see me smiling, it's because I know at the end of the day, through Jesus Christ, the Most High will always give you the actual judgment. So I really thank you for providing us a fair.
Okay. All right. We started getting more cut him off in. So he out of here. The dude literally is up there still admitting to all those other million charges that constitute the RICO and the pimping and the trafficking, right? What he's really just explaining to avoid is I didn't force anybody. All right, so listen, if I'm out here pimping and I'm running this RICO ring of women trafficking and cross the state lines allegedly and pimping and doing all this shit, right? Firearms. We just read his charges, right? He had a ton of things up there. And all of a sudden, none of that actually can apply to me because these are all consent. He started his speech by saying that. All of these women were adults. They all left willingly and came back willingly. Okay. That makes prostitution and pimping and all this other shit and sex trafficking legal now? If that's the case, you know how many people are going to start doing that? It's like, yo, this nigga's sick for that shit, man. Listen, at the end of the day, cash out, man. Like, I'm not here to wish the worst on the man or nothing like that. He already got life in jail. Like, I'm not here for that. But, dude, you had your hit song. Everybody knows you for it. You had a small pocket of fame. And how many times do we see this on this channel? It's the after. You got all these artists, all these people that have this temporary fame, their moments in the world. I don't know what their grinds continue after that to be, right? You got to have your multiple lanes of income or your plan A, plan B, and in today's society, plan C as well, right? Because the moment that hit single is done and those shows are done and the fans is on to the next, which could be 3, 4, 5 months later, you think everybody gets a Jay-Z, a Nas, a Nicki Minaj, a Cardi B run out of this shit? Really? Every fucking video Scarlett does is still in the projects. Every post that I was like, Jesus Christ, shorty, like, and she got her little buzz going and everything, right? She's still struggling to make it. Change her image 4 or 5 fucking times. It's like a small percentage of these people that actually get on and stay on for a long time. You still have to plan for your latter 30s and 40s and 50s. And this is where you start seeing Sean Kingston and his mother, right? Or Cash Out and his mother, or this person or that person getting into all these little side submissions and quests to earn money. You think that this is the only person out there right now breaking laws that we used to listen to on the radio? No. So, life for him, his cousin, and his mother for all of those charges. Somebody up here put that there was minors involved as well as the charges. He wasn't convicted of that from what we read, but he still had all of that. He had like a all of the above type of fucking counts on his shit. So it is what it is. We're going to leave it there. Cash Out, man. All right, let's go to this Nas and Jim Jones. It's sad for me to even call it a beef. I'm not supposed to call it a beef. It damn sure ain't no fucking beef. Jim Jones keeps admitting that he's damn near trolling the algorithms to stay hot. And I am mad at Jim Jones. He knows how to stay relevant. He's been doing it for quite a long time. He's still getting to his bags. He's still earning for himself. I understand it. He's telling us in our face what he's doing. But Nas to leak a secret Jim Jones diss? All right, so let's hear what one of the guys has to say about it. Raekwon stepped up to clarify this shit.
Nas did not write that verse for Jim. That was a straight shot Jim got hit with. And y'all made it seem like that was for Nas. That was for Jim. Nas wasn't dissing Jim. And the reason why he changed it, because he knew that at the end of the day, damn, Chef, I gave you these verses months ago, and now all this shit is popping up, which at the end of the day, he not standing on it because he's in another zone. He trying to get money. He doing this, he doing that. Jim said what he said, and the fans responded, and that was that. Nas is all the way on the other side somewhere, not even paying attention to it that deep. He's not getting caught up in that. And now all of a sudden, when I'm getting ready to drop my album, Nas hits me and say, yo, Chef, I'm going to do another verse, my nigga, because I don't know, for some reason, I think that this rhyme right here is going to make niggas feel like I'm dissing Jim, and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? This rhyme I made way before all this shit even came up. And this is real shit, y'all. I don't got to fucking lie to y'all niggas, man. I promise y'all niggas, he wasn't dissing Jim. This ain't no diss record. And if it was a diss record, why would he put it on my record? Because guess what? I fuck with Jim. He know I fuck with Jim. So I ain't getting in nobody beef. If it was a beef, it's no beef. So y'all took whatever that rhyme was that leaked, because I guess it leaked from somewhere. It didn't leak from us. But yo, that wasn't for Jim. Nas was rhyming like that because the beat made him rhyme like that, nigga. Nas did not write that verse for Jim. That was a straight shot Jim got hit with.
I believe him. I believe the man. Like he said, what the fuck I got to get up here and lie for? Plus, I got these interconnections between me, Jim, and Nas and all that. Nas even hit him up like, come on, like, do I really think that Rage is going to make that story up? Nas hit me and said, maybe I should switch this or not drop this because the people going to think this. I don't think Rage is going to make that shit up. I see y'all in the chat saying, if Nas really did write a song for Jim, Jim wins. Abso-fucking-lutely. It was never a conversation to be had on almost any level. Jim successfully trolled the internet, and that was a plus for him. Nas doesn't have much to gain from it. We saw the promotions of him working on the casino, the $1 billion plus project in Queens, right? He's got music dropping. His name is up again where it deserves to be. And Nas, he really is supposed to be bigger than all of this right now. Jim, when he was on the radio with the Breakfast Club, and he's asking them, he did the same shit with Pusha T. Y'all don't think that I'm more relevant and this and that, and the numbers, the youngins ain't talking about him. Then people started walking through Harlem and saying, hey, Nas or Jim. They was like, Nas. Just like this. all age brackets. These videos are all over YouTube of them walking through Harlem, taking a poll between the two rappers. Rap-wise, what are we talking about? Greats have been coming out. Greats and legends and rappers have been coming out and saying, Jim, I fuck with you, but what are you doing? What are you talking about? Some people all out offended and snapping on Jim. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? So rap is never a conversation. Then we find out money ain't a conversation. Jim found out that as well. He went and Googled Nas's net worth. Said, oh shit, he's worth $100 million. Then he was talking about relevancy as far as today. So people like Charlemagne pulls up, well, how many times are they both searched on Google today or analytics in the algorithm today? Nas had Jim tenfold. Today, relevancy on social media and on the internet and in search engines. All right. Numbers and albums. That's a landslide. Every category was a landslide, including the things that Jim was using for his argument. So it was never an argument, ever. It was a fun moment for fucking Jim. Well, Jim got so much backlash that I don't know if he off camera, he really is like, oh shit, I might have did a little bit too much. I might have really stepped in the bear trap with this one. But it brings him the attention that he knows that he needs to figure out ways to fucking maintain. Now, if Nas did drop a track towards Jim, I agree with y'all in the chat. Because Nas you just can't, there's certain people you can't argue with. And I want to learn how to be more like fucking Nas in that respect. I got no business arguing with certain people. If there's light years between us in all of these categories, if you are shooting up and aiming to be something even half of what the fuck I am, why the fuck am I sitting down and writing ether for you? I can't. It makes me look bad. And nobody, I don't even think you can rap with me. That's why Jim keeps begging everybody to step in the booth with him. Because it only helps him. It's like a win-win, right? Jim's used to like to book a lot of his battles like that, in my opinion. Shout out to Jim's. I always felt like he was good at not trying to take up-and-comers or people that were maybe more on his caliber, whether rap-wise or stature-wise. But the opponents that I ended up getting them 9 times out of 10, it's a win-win. It's Jim Jones in there with Nas, and even if you have a debatable, you win. And even if you lose, you damn near still win because the gap is so... The rappability of, like, let's say a Serious Jones and like a Jim's, for example, there's a big gap between them, right? So if Jim's gets up there and does his fucking thing, even in a loss, who still kind of wins in public perception, right? So he really can't drop no ether for fucking Jim Jones. And if Nas comes down and gives us an ether for Jim Jones, I'm going to ask him to write one for a lot of people. I'm going to say, Nas, if that's the bag that you're in right now, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want that. Because I'm here for it. And y'all got to stop lying. Act like y'all wouldn't click play as soon as it dropped. We would, but it would be it's not productive for Nas to do at all. Period. Thank you, Ray, for clarifying that for us, because there's a lot of videos that the whole internet is dropping like, ooh, Nas just got Jim. Nah. That's not the case. It's not the case. All right, y'all see Project Pat in the thumbnail. Is he getting justice for his son? Let's take a look at this. TMZ report. Project Pat, 2 arrested in connection with son's murder. Suspected shooter is a juvenile. All right, let's take a look at the video.
We continue our coverage tonight of the death investigation of rapper Project Pat's son, Patrick Houston Jr.
The U.S. Marshals have arrested a woman they believe is behind this murder. 19-year-old Talia Jones is charged with facilitation of murder in the death of Patrick Houston Jr., the son of rapper Project Pat. Tonight, we're working to find out more about Jones.
Let's go to Fox 13's Jack Bilyeu live at the MPD Tillman Station right now. Jack, we know she's had a couple of previous run-ins with the law.
Yeah, Daryl, according to court records, she was wanted on a warrant separate from the shooting. That's misdemeanor shoplifting. The U.S. Marshals say when they found her in Minnesota, she put up a fight.
A Memphis music legend facing a heartbreaking situation. Patrick Houston Sr., better known as Project Pat, lost his son, 21-year-old Patrick Houston Jr., in a shooting in Imogene Heights back in January. Project Pat once rapped about women, drugs, and the streets, but in recent years, he's focused his creative efforts on prison ministries.
So God gives people out here gifts people out here have gifts of influence. I was using my gift in the wrong way.
Memphis police say they found Patrick Houston Jr. shot near a park on January 10th. He died at the scene. For months, there was no update on the case, but now the U.S. Marshals say they've made an arrest more than 800 miles away in Minnesota. The Marshals say Talia Jones put up a fight when they tried to take her in. She's charged with facilitation of first-degree murder. Court documents related to her alleged role in Houston's death are not yet available, but she was involved in 2 previous cases. In October 2024, she was arrested following a domestic incident at an apartment complex on Ketchum. She allegedly used a knife during a fight against a woman who was armed with a hammer. That case was disposed. Later that month, she was arrested again, accused of shoplifting from a dollar store on Perkins. She was released on her own recognizance, but didn't show up for a court hearing, and a warrant was put out.
Let's talk about that facilitation charge. That means she's accused of helping someone else who actually pulled the trigger. It's not clear yet what exactly her role in that crime was. We're hoping to find that out once the first court documents are filed. The Marshals say she's set to be transferred back to Tennessee soon. Daryl?
Man, so of course, hopefully justice for the young man that lost his life, as well as Project Pat, and a father losing their son. Sad. How diabolical does it have to be to steal from the dollar store though? Like if I was down on my shit, you know what I'm saying, I would be hustling up hopefully enough money to be able to run through the dollar store, and then when I am gonna put my freedom and my shit on the line, I'm stealing some shit that's a little anyway, fuck it. Anyway, 3-6 Mafia star Project Pat's son was killed in January. Man, this young lady, it's also being reported that she allegedly is the ex-girlfriend of his son. According to law enforcement, there's evidence appearing to show Jones and Houston knew each other knew each other before the fatal encounter, and investigators believe an unnamed juvenile co-defendant who is believed to be Jones's ex-girlfriend actually pulled the trigger that ended Houston Jr.'s life. And she skipped states, and they caught up with her. Interesting. And they say she put up a fight when they caught up with her too. Well, I'm not going to over speculate. When we get a little bit more of the paperwork and some of the documentation that starts to get posted behind this case, we'll read a little bit more of the details. Checks and balances. Let's keep an eye on this. Just doesn't look good so far. Let's do our first one. Why not? We skipped for the cops, but I didn't need to do one for that. Let's do one here. Show you that just got arrested. Chat, you know the new trend. Guilty, not guilty, or trial. What y'all got? Y'all know the new trend here on this channel. This is what we're doing now for some of these cases. What y'all got? Guilty, not guilty, trial for this young woman. Let's see what y'all got. The first one I see here is guilty. Oh, wow. Condolences, Barry. I lost my brother in January this year. My parents are not themselves. My father, pray for us. Condolences, Barry. Condolences, man. The healing behind a family loss. I don't even want. My skin is crawling. Condolences once again, Barry. We got a guilty from Karma Love. We got a guilty here from Mike. Our member MSM got guilty. Slams Gavel. DJ guilty. Our member 2 Clean Johns got guilty. BK Stunner, our member, got guilty. Got Nikita saying guilty. Our member Between Rounds TV. Between Rounds TV for the last 2 days definitely has been more conservative. Like, I want to see more. And I respect that. But you was trial yesterday. You was trial today for some of these. I respect it. Big Yellow got guilty. I don't got any not guilties. Guilty. Damn, y'all are going crazy with the guilties. Yeah. I got 2 trials. Everything else is guilty. All right, let's move on. When I started the stream in the intro, one of the things that I said is we're going to do a guilty, not guilty trial for one that might be, I don't think it's going to be easy. It shouldn't be easy. Maybe I'll say that. Here's an update that we haven't had in a while. This is actually one of the more higher viewed videos that we've done in the last 3 months. And it was Rodney Hinton Jr. related, right? That video is probably somewhere like around 75, 80,000 views or something like that when we covered it. But here's an update. Let's check this out. And then I'm going to come to the chat and see what the hell y'all going to say.
We have new information on the man accused of intentionally running over a sheriff's deputy in retaliation for his son being shot and killed by police. Plus, the defense makes several motions related to their temporary insanity plea.
Local 12's Christian Hauser joins us in studio with those details on the case and how Rodney Hinton's attorney says he's doing.
Yeah, Rodney Hinton Jr.'s attorney, Clyde Bennett, is planning to use that temporary insanity plea as his defense. Now, today's hearing was mostly just housekeeping things, but we did learn new information, including that Hinton never made a statement to police. Bennett had filed a motion to get any statement that Hinton may have made to officers thrown out, but when asked about it, Assistant Prosecutor Kip Guinan said he is not aware of any statement that Hinton may have made to police. That was just one of several motions filed by the defense. Attorney Clyde Bennett says the hearing mainly served as a wellness check for Rodney Hinton Jr.
To make certain that he's communicating with his counsel, myself, along with Mr. Bogan, and also to make certain that he's being treated properly at the Claremont County Jail.
Bennett says he's seen a slight improvement in his client's mental health, but Hinton's still medicated, and Bennett believes he's experiencing the residual effects of a psychotic episode. Arguably, the most consequential motions filed involve video before and after the alleged incident. Rodney Hinton and his family watched body camera footage of a Cincinnati police officer shoot and kill his son Ryan. Shortly after that, Hinton's accused of intentionally running over Hamilton County Deputy Larry Henderson. Bennett plans to use that footage to show the state of mind Hinton was in leading up to the attack.
And it was recorded at the scene, yes. Transport to the University Hospital, that was recorded. When he was at the University Hospital, when he was transported to Claremont County, when he was transported from Claremont County to the Hamilton County Jail, 1 or 2 days after this happened. All of that is relevant with respect to his mental state. I need that information ASAP.
Bennett's also asking the court to exclude any pictures from the scene of Deputy Larry Henderson.
That's an evidentiary motion that's filed sometimes when you think that there's going to be gruesome photos of the decedent that would provoke the jury to not look at the law or the evidence, but to be swayed by emotion or sympathy.
We asked Bennett if he told Hinton about the officer being cleared of any wrongdoing in the shooting death of his son Ryan.
Based on his psychiatric state and his mental status, I didn't bring that to his attention. I didn't want to precipitate anything, so I didn't discuss it with him.
Now, the defense also asked for another attorney to be appointed to this case. Now, because this is a capital murder case and the death penalty is on the table, the attorney must be certified to handle death penalty trials. Now, attorney James Bogan joined the team today. He was an attorney for Michael Grievous in Butler County about 7 years ago. Grievous avoided the death penalty in a murder for hire case back then. Chelsea, back to you.
Christian, thank you. Rodney Hinton Jr. will be back in front of a judge next month. His trial is scheduled for January. In the meantime, he's in the Claremont.
His son Ryan.
January trial set back in court, I believe, this month or early August then. All right. Before I come to the chat for the guilty, not guilty trial, here's one thing I take from this update. It almost appears that his lawyer and his defense, Rodney Hinton Jr., they are going with the, yes, we did this. And now what we're trying to claim and shoot for is a defense of temporary insanity. His lawyer's there giving statements of, I need to have all of this information around his mental state, his mental health, back and forth to the hospitals and all this type of stuff, the medication that he's on. The moment you go in that lane, you know, we are primal fear. That's a classic movie, by the way. We are primal fear. It's not about did he kill the person, right? It's about what his mental and why he did it. And of course, in a situation like this, if you're Rodney Hinton Jr., you'd rather go catch however period of time in a mental institute opposed to serving time or possibly the death penalty for the murder or the killing of a police officer. Okay? Off rip, man, I don't know what jury or jurors are going to come back with a not guilty verdict on that then. Because they're going to sit there and they're going to see that somebody as a vigilante, for example, took the law into their own hands, whether they were right or wrong. I'll get to that in a second. For anybody that's skin is crawling, it's the parents in the chat. Okay, give me a second. You're going to have to convince the jury, or the jury's going to be sitting there. They're going to be hearing the prosecution talk about this officer that's up on the screen right now that had nothing to do with his son's shooting, that was out working his job in a different location, and Rodney Hinton Jr. allegedly purposefully drove his car into him, killing him, right? And then you're going to say that he did it on purpose, but his mental was fried because he had just lost his son. You think that jury's going to come back and say not guilty? Now, the other side is the eye for an eye aspect of, I feel my son was killed unjustly and I'm getting one of y'all. That is where a lot of people started sending money and putting money on his books. And at trial, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't release that entire footage of when his son was shot. I think that they have to show that to the jury. They better be able to show the court and the people and the jury that when they shot that young man, there really, really was cause for them feeling like they needed to use that level of force. Now, they show pictures of a gun that was allegedly dropped or recovered at the scene. Show me ballistics, show me evidence that that young man was carrying that gun, that maybe he turned around, he aimed at you, maybe he shot at you. Whatever the scenario is that justifies a police shooting, they're going to have to show us that, or else people's going to be inflamed. And the moment they become inflamed, even if you do convict Rodney in court, the whole community is going to be set on fucking fire. This is where you start getting riots and shit like that. Because they're going to say, no, you wasn't supposed to kill that little boy. But damn, this was an innocent life. This cop had nothing to do with it. It's not easy. Chat. For now, before we get to trial in January, guilty, not guilty trial. What y'all got? I know, Mike. I know. I did that purposefully. And that's also me being fair and doing both sides of it. I know. Okay, first one in. Not guilty. Though I hope I didn't make you say pick a side lately between rounds. Guilty is going down. Nikita got. Smurf, our member says trial. Cotton, our member says trial. Ryan from the chat says guilty. K, our member says trial. It's moving real fast. Hold on, I'm trying to keep up. Hold on. That boy Jizzle, if you're gonna have the position of a toss-up, that's pretty much trial then, because you just need more. You'll lean more to one side or the other as you get more. But where you stand as far as the evidence, as far as the situation, as far as emotionally, you're in the middle right now. Nothing wrong with that. MSM, our member, says this one is tough. I gotta say trial. Karma Love says trial. Kay says we need more facts. BK Stunner, our member, says trial. Craig says guilty. I'm not seeing any not guilties. D Squared from our chat says trial. Our member 2 Clean John says trial. Our member 3 Yellow, a Big Yellow 317 is throwing emojis up. Archetype got guilt. Yo, I don't see a single. Barry White from the chat. This is my first time seeing a not guilty. Our second King Yellow is saying I'm biased. Our member is saying I'm biased because I can't honestly answer. I told you this would be the trickiest one. I'm going to leave y'all alone. I'm going to stop it there. I told y'all. But I didn't see any not guilties. Interesting. All right, let me move on. I know which way y'all going to go with this one. I told y'all, people, along with our rap news, celebrity news, we do so much coverage of law and crime. We've got to get deeper and deeper into true crime. Right. And not all of them will be celebrities, but some of them is like, wait a minute, what the fuck is that? All right. Let me play this video for y'all. It's very short. Was this 3 minutes?
Getting the death of a 9-year-old girl whose body was found in upstate New York over the weekend. Her father first reported her missing on Saturday. She was discovered and identified the next day. State officials now say there is no evidence of a kidnapping, and they claim there were inconsistencies in the father's story and the timeline he provided. Police are giving an update now. Let's listen in.
The child resided full-time with her mother, and Fratone visited with the child when in Canada. At about 5:30 p.m. on July 20th, Melyssa is observed with her father on video surveillance in Saratoga Springs, New York. At about 6:30 p.m., she spoke to her mother on the phone and told her she and her father were en route back to Canada. The child appeared to be in good health and did not indicate she was under any duress. The investigation has determined sometime after Melina's phone call with her mother and before Mr. Fratolin's 911 call, he allegedly murdered Melyssa and left her body in a remote area where she was later discovered by law enforcement. Initial reports from Mr. Fratolin of a suspicious white van in the area of the alleged disappearance was proven to be untrue. The suspect has been charged with murder in the second degree and concealment of a human corpse. He was then transported to the Essex County Correctional Facility where he was held pending arraignment. The suspect is scheduled to be at Ticonderoga Town Court this morning for arraignment. Melina's cause of death is pending the results of an autopsy, which is scheduled for later today. This is certainly a difficult case and heartbreaking investigation. On behalf of the New York State Police and our law enforcement partners, I want to offer our condolences to the family of Melyssa. I would additionally like to thank our partners with the Warren County Sheriff's Office, Essex County Sheriff's Office, Warren County District Attorney, Essex County District Attorney, the Montreal Police Department, Department of Environmental Conservation, the Ticonderoga Police Department, and the FBI for their assistance in this investigation. If any member of the public has information regarding the death of Melyssa Fratolin, I encourage them to contact the New York State Police at area code 518-783-3211. I will now answer a limited number of questions.
All right, you've been listening to a press conference in upstate New York. The breaking news this morning coming into the newsroom from police officials is that young girl has been murdered by her father. That is what the police is saying. They reported that the father called the police and told them that his daughter was missing in upstate New York. He said that there was a white van that had been seen in the vicinity of the area. And now the police is saying, well, to begin with, his stories did not line up with the facts as they discovered them. And the breaking news, that young girl has been found as she has been, according to the police, the father is now in custody for her murder. CBS News' Tom Hansen.
My bad. I was on mute. My bad. I hit mute. So I have the article pulled up of this young girl. Very, very sad situation of this young girl, Melyssa Fratolin. There's communication, though, that was happening between the father and the mother. While this father and the mother, and the daughter are away on vacation, and there's check-ins that's happening. Where are you guys? How's things going? The Amber Alert goes out for missing child. And then the guy reports that his daughter is missing. This to me just looks like, I'm going to steal your shit and then I'm going to help come and join the search team and shit. And it's too reactive. Oh my God. If your father or your mother and your child goes missing, and missing is determined when you think that somebody's supposed to be there and they're not, right? Now, if you're in your office working and the kids are out in the backyard playing for 2 hours and you go out in the backyard and they're not there, hey, look around for a little bit. You might not panic right away, right? But you're on vacation, you're moving around, you're not home. And the moment you realize that somebody is missing, right? That's when everything should snap and you should start going crazy. It shouldn't be after a fucking Amber Alert comes out as if somebody else reported that this little girl is missing, i.e. maybe the mother. And then you come around and you say, well, I saw a white truck in the area. It's always a fucking white truck. This is like Averb calling me and fucking saying, hey, if you just cancel the Iron Solomon battle, I'm going to battle Drake on RBE. It's always a white truck. Now I know the stereotype and it's in movies and all this type of stuff, right? But a kid could get fucking abducted in a blue Corvette, like in anything. So that's the way you turned around too. Oh, by the way, I saw a white truck in the area where my daughter disappeared from. Dude, you look like you deserve your day in hell. That's what you look like right now. And to have all this shit not even lining up for the fucking authorities, I'm glad that how many times do we say this on this chat, people? We say these authorities ain't stupid. people want to get the blood gang tattoo, and then when they get in trouble for something, they got to explain the tattoo. Say like, oh, this is for a totally different meaning. And it's like, you just want to take these people as fucking idiots. You want to call them 5 hours after the Amber Alert and say, oh, I think my daughter must have fell asleep, so I don't know, I can't find her. Like, we're not idiots. We're not fucking fools here. And you deserve your fucking day in hell if you took your daughter's life. If you took your daughter's life, this guy, man, like, if you go to a lot of crime websites and channels right now, this story is one of the biggest stories between Melina, the daughter, Melina Fradlin. Her name, don't be surprised if it crosses your social media as this case continues to develop. But very, very big story. It's just not a celebrity. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. People, be careful who you lay down with and who you produce children with. Even if y'all not together, you're supposed to be able to trust the father of your children with your children, or the mother of your children with your children. Be careful. Do we really need to do a guilty, not guilty, or trial? Do we really need to do that? Oh shit, look at the chat. Oh no, that's from the last one. I was about to say, why do I see all these trials? I was about to get mad. I was about to walk off the stream. I was about to be like, what? Okay, no, it's all fucking guilty. Thank God. He looks like he deserves not his day in court. He sounds like he deserves his day in hell behind this. Guilty, 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 guilty. We know what's up. Big story, people. And I'm going to continue to watch the headlines for this guy. We're going to continue to watch the news cycle for this guy. A piece of shit. Okay. On a more positive energy note, we must give condolences, and there's going to be a controversial topic that's tied to this. All right. So I don't want to piss anybody off, but we got to send some positive energy and give condolences. Mr. Malcolm-Jamal Warner passed away yesterday, I believe. Reports started coming out. Very, very sad. We're talking part of a lot of people's childhoods, right? And you're seeing a lot of celebrities react to this passing. A lot of fans reacting to this passing. This was very, very sad news once it started hitting the internet yesterday. And the updates as to how he passed is that he reportedly drowned in an ocean current. Cause of death confirmed as asphyxia, like asphyxiation, right? Prayers. The Cosby Show star Malcolm-Jamal Warner passes away at age 54. Now, when we start seeing some of these reports come out every once in a while, somebody that we've lost or somebody that has passed, and you see the age 54, people start to think of health and whatnot. There's video footage of him at the airport. I believe he was traveling to Costa Rica, looked fine. People were saying he was fine, and now you have these reports coming out of a drowning. It's sad that even when you're enjoying your life, there's all these dangers. I told y'all while I was in Cabo 2 weeks ago. The beach was cool, but nobody was really out there and nobody was swimming because there's signs and there's reports of that water being dangerous as shit. So nobody was in the water. The whole beach shut down, and I can see it from the way the water was crashing. That this is a strong ass undertow, right? But it's just sad that people, could be enjoying life at this phase of their life, 54 years old, out there living it up in Costa Rica, and something like this happens. Very, very sad. This is why we got to count our blessings. So rest in peace to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, man. Part of many of our childhoods once again. And I see some of y'all in the chat saying 54 is not young. Yeah, but if you maintain your health, it's definitely not old enough to go. That's what I would say. So rest in peace to the man once again. Now, when I mentioned something that has gotten controversial, it's how social media formulates around interviews or past uploads regarding the person that passed. Let me give y'all my take on this. It's Melyssa Ford that came under a lot of fire, but it's something that Vlad TV has always been dealing with. Check this out.
Now, fans were quick to notice that after the news dropped of him passing away, Melyssa Ford and her team quickly changed the title of the interview from Surviving Fame, Finding Love, and the Bill Cosby Effect to Malcolm-Jamal Warner's final interview. on fame, love, and legacy. People are accusing Melyssa Ford of trying to profit from his death, claiming that Melyssa Ford only changed the title of the interview to gain more views, which equals more money. Now, this is what DJ Vlad has been getting called out for many years. Anytime a rapper that Vlad has interviewed passes away, Vlad is always quick to put up a throwback interview with the person, sometimes before the family even gets the news of their loved one's passing, which Vlad has always defended himself, saying, hey, listen, people are going to be searching for this guy. And I think that my interview with that person gives people a whole new perspective about them. And it also helps people to learn a little bit more about the person that passed away. Big Nay from the JBTV community was not too happy with Melyssa Ford. She said, Melyssa fucking Ford, this is absolutely disgusting. You the type of people Joe be talking about who wait until people die to either profit off of it or bring up something nasty from their past that has nothing to do with the topic at hand. Now, you also had people defending Melyssa as well. Somebody said it's not nasty work if it was his final interview. People would be and are interested in what his last public words on another platform might have been, plus his final appearances in general. Helps people find it more than anything, which I told you guys.
We can leave it right there. That is 100% true on both sides. Will there be people that see that somebody passes away, anything that's newsworthy, right? It could be a passing, it could be a championship game, it could be somebody get knocked out. Anything that hits the headlines will be talked about on social media, will be posted about, will be discussed. I've never discussed Malcolm-Jamal Warner on this podcast. I never had a reason to. Does that mean that now that I'm giving him condolences and talking about him here in a topic that I'm clout chasing or trying to capitalize or make money off of him? Now, that is very different than if I had an interview with him, uploaded to the channel, and then he passes away, and then you see immediately, 10 minutes after he passed away, I go back and I change the title to say Malcolm's last interview. So here's the thing. Vlad's explanation for it is something that I do understand and I can agree with, as far as this is a piece of this person's history, especially if it's his last interview. People are definitely, they even find places of peace sometimes of seeing the light that somebody was in last. Now, if this was a disgusting interview from him, and then she brings it back to the forefront, then it's just like, yo, right now people are mourning him. Why you got this interview up there where he walked out and he was, if it's just a regular cool interview and he's in a good light and he's not, his name isn't being disrespected, changing the title immediately, I think fans and friends and family, it's a time to see the person and be able to say like, oh, wow. Because what happens is we don't think about enough people until they pass. Right? We have millions of legends walking around us every single day. What was it that we put in checks and balances yesterday? It was the actor from Home Alone, the guy that worked in the hotel that Kevin was like that scared when he came into the hotel room, right? That actor is like paralyzed. And somebody put it in the chat yesterday, and multiple of us in the chat was like, we had no clue that he's like he looked like Christopher, was it Christopher Reeves, like Superman, right? Like we had no clue, but we got all these legends around us, people that deserve our praise, our respect, our appreciation, and we don't think about them. And then when something happens, we think about them. Now, when we do think about them, hopefully the direction that we're put in is a good light. That's hopefully it. So that is where I could understand Vlad, Melyssa Ford, or whoever. Timing does play key, though. Okay? If you really respect the person's passing, and if you are saddened by it at all, even if it's only 2%, if you're just scrolling your phone and you say, oh, wow, Malcolm passed? Bet. And you go type your title, that's pretty insensitive. And that's your motive, right? And we just can't prove that in people. Nobody knows the person's motive. You're just going to have to go on the person's character. That's it, right? You just got to go on the person's character. If that title got changed, if you saw me change a title on the RBE channel right now, such and such last rap battle, because there was news broke that they just passed 30 minutes ago, right? You would have to decipher whether you think I did that to go make money, or whether I did that because I was just like, damn, I need you guys to see where he was at before this tragic moment. Just something just grabbed him. It's not like you got a chance to prepare for the passing. Like we knew this person was sick for months or weeks or years. It's just something, boom, right? And if you want people to have a good light and just be able to, now me personally, if it's somebody I'm very, very close to, my mind isn't on social media, on YouTube. Somebody I'm very, very close to, it's just not going to happen. I'm already fucked up then. But here's the truth. The truth is, many people reacting to his passing aren't close to him and don't know him personally. That's the truth. I don't think Melyssa Ford is personally close to him. I think that they cross paths professionally in the industry. So as long as in her heart she didn't have malice of changing that interview, it's okay. And really only she could answer that. So that's my way to answer both sides of it. All right. Hope y'all rock with that breakdown and explanation of that. Condolences once again. I'm gonna leave off with this clip right here, ladies. I hope I don't piss anybody off with this one. I really don't. Hold on. Let me share this. Let me share this clip I saw on Twitter this morning. Let's see how y'all feel. See how y'all feel about it.
Beat his ass! Let's go!
Look how shocked he. Look at the cop. Look at the cop. The cop at the very end of the video started talking to her. The cop's reaction is weird, but look how shocked she is that she got slapped.
Beat his ass! Let's go!
Hits him, slap, quick. Look at her face. Okay, this is what I gotta say, ladies. You got daughters out there. You got young women out there. You got goddaughters. You got female cousins and sisters. Let's continue to teach women that, yes, there is a society double standard understanding, and most boys and most men are raised in a manner of being physically reduced towards women, not putting your hands on women, not hitting women. Most of us are taught that, right? But you also need to constitute the teaching, coming to the chat in a second, constitute the teaching of, doesn't mean that you can't get hit by a man, especially if he feels the need for self-defense. Like some of these women will start beating on a nigga thinking like, you just can't hit me because I'm a woman. I'm going to punch you in your face because you can't hit me back. I'm a woman. Ha ha, nanny, nanny, boo boo. Her shocked nature right there shows that she doesn't understand life. She doesn't understand that you can get fucked up in these streets from your actions. Her being so shocked is crazy to me. At the end of the day, man, woman, child, old person, like Chris Rock said, everybody got a reason to get their hands put on them and get their ass whooped. Just don't do it. There's a reason to beat an old man. Just don't do it. There's a reason to beat the shit out of a woman. Just don't do it. Right? And his slap was so fast. That shit was reactive. And even if it wasn't reactive, who says that you don't deserve to get slapped if you slap somebody? I could be defending myself. That's not the world. We teach each other as men, don't hit women. But we be forgetting to teach some of these women just as much. Don't hit men. The fuck? You know what we're supposed to do though? Like if you really want to keep it fair and even and be able to protect yourself in this fucking world despite society's standards, is I'm gonna defend myself. I'll tell you right now, like, I'm gonna defend myself. Or you might get slapped back if you put your fucking hands on me, right? If you're an adult. I ain't hitting no fucking kid. I'll let a kid get that off, right? But you're an adult. If that was me on that street and she slapped me, I might just react the same fucking way. But one thing I wouldn't do, because it's a woman, I wouldn't go all out on her as if it was a man that just slapped me real quick. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go all out. Like I wouldn't like get on top of a ground and pound a bitch. Like, I ain't doing all. Nah, I ain't treating her like a man. But if you catch your ass a quick open palm because you put your hands in my fucking face, we gotta teach people, keep your hands to yourself. Like, why is she so shocked that she slapped a nigga and got slapped back? I ain't doing that. I'd rather teach people, don't slap nobody. I ain't doing that shit. Sorry. Quick lick slap. Hello, y'all crazy. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. It's free. I'll tell y'all right now, man, as the show and all the clips and everything continue to expand, I always keep my eyes on the next wave of mods and, people that could hold us down in here and work well amongst the current team. I know there's a lot of people that's just in here. It's like, yo, I'm just here to chill, man. I ain't got time for all that other stuff. But then there's also people that are a part of the, really put up there, yo, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And, hey, people, don't forget, mask your cursing words so that YouTube doesn't mess it up for you and everything. When I see you, kind of interacting with making the product and the stream what we need it to be, that's like moderator type of shit. So I appreciate y'all. And I keep my eyes on certain people that I see do that consistently. Shout out to Mike. He's with me on that last one. I'm gonna scroll real quick in case there's any ladies that's mad at me or feel like they disagree. Because if there is a conversation to be had, we'll have it real quick. Nikita said, an open hand slap is cool. Don't knock her out, though. There you go. I said that. No, I ain't trying I try to treat her like a man. I ain't doing all that. That's crazy. Jay said Hadouken. And Hadouken might be a little bit too much. Y'all rock with my breakdown there. Good. Y'all know I'll be flying off the rails. I ain't a crazy guy, am I? Right? I ain't gonna be like, yo, fuck that. Anderson Silva, that hoe. Like, that bitch in the arm bar. That ain't me. Well, you slap me, you might get slapped back, shorty. Sorry. Okay. We're out of here. Hour and 30, quick 90-minute run. We went through a bunch of news updates. We got some true crime done, celebrity crime done. It's a bunch, man. It's a bunch. Thank you, everybody, for rocking out. Barry says she learned. Yeah, she ain't gonna be shocked next time, right? Nikita says, I love it. I appreciate you, shorty. But all right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We shall be back bright and early, 6 a.m. in the morning. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Keep it productive. Keep it as safe as possible. Don't fly off the hinge the way I had to do yesterday with that bullshit ass guy that was hating. Yeah, let's try to avoid the bullshit and have a successful, beautiful day, y'all. I'll see y'all bright and early in the morning, 6 a.m.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.